Hi. So in this video, we are to discuss different types of data sets we commonly used in statistical analysis and how they should be presented. So starting with the types of data sets, we have three possible options, which are time series data set, cross-sectional data set, and panel data set. Time series dataset basically means that one object is analyzed for t periods. Here t stands for some variable, I don't know, 10, 20, 100, it depends. So, for instance, you might analyze the price of stock for a particular firm. So you indeed have one item, one object, or one agent, depending on the terminology you prefer, and you analyze it for several periods. With daily frequency, monthly frequency, or annual frequency, everything depends on your data and research purposes. Cross-sectional data set is when you analyze n objects for exactly one period. For instance, you might analyze a sample consisting of 100, 150, or 200 consumers. So there is no dynamics, there are no changes in their, let's say, consumption habits over time. You analyze them for exactly one period. And finally, when it comes to panel dataset, you analyze n objects for t periods. So there are several agents, firms, consumers analyzed for several years, months, decades, whatever you prefer. So we are going to discuss later how to use very basic software for statistical analysis. And typically, this is how you represent data for cross-sectional analysis. So keep in mind you have ID in the first column. Again, it should be in column. If you put ID in a row, then software will fail to interpret your data properly. And you have several variables. So for the first consumer, age is 22, you know that this consumer is male, and you know that this particular consumer makes online purchases twice a week. The second consumer is 37 years old, he's male as well, and this consumer makes online purchases once a week. Okay, again, I would like to reinforce one final time that this is how you should design your data set in Excel spreadsheet in order to make sure that software interprets your data properly. It's quite uniform. We are going to use Gretel, but actually it's not only for Gretel, it's also for eViews, R, Stata, like whatever the software you prefer for doing your statistical analysis. When it comes to time series dataset, again, this is how you present your data. So in this case, you analyze exactly one consumer, or maybe household in this case, and you analyze how frequency of online purchases per week varies over time. So there are 2 purchases per week in 2017 on average, 1 purchase per week on average in 2018, and so on and so forth. Again, if you have time series dataset, this is how you should present your data in Excel spreadsheet in order to make sure that your data can be interpreted properly. Finally, when it comes to panel dataset, here you analyze several consumers for several years. So here we have consumer 1 analyzed for the period 2017-2021 and consumer with ID 2 analyzed for the period between 2017 and 2021. So in line with the definition we discussed before, here you have several agents or several consumers analyzed for several years. And once again, this is how you should represent your data in Excel spreadsheet in order to make sure that your data is interpreted properly. So first, you put the column with ID, and yes, you should mention it all the time here. Then you put the column with the year, and then you put columns with variables describing particular agents. So that's it when it comes to datasets, and thank you for watching.